The restaurant hummed with life, soft chatter, the gentle clinking of glasses, and a quiet melody drifting from hidden speakers. I had meticulously planned this evening for weeks. It was her birthday dinner, surrounded by family, friends, and me, hoping to make her feel cherished. I wanted every detail to reflect how much she mattered, every smile and gesture perfectly timed. When the cake was brought out, its candles casting a gentle glow across her face, I believed I had succeeded. She leaned forward to blow them out, and I reached to take her hand, intending to whisper my personal birthday wish to her. But then she spoke. "I want to thank everyone for being here tonight," she said, her tone bright and gracious. She scanned the room, acknowledging each person, before her words took a sharp turn. "But most of all, I want to thank someone incredibly special, my ex Daniel. He really set the standard for how a man should treat me." A sudden stillness swallowed the room. My hand hovered midair, frozen in a gesture that felt meaningless. Every gaze turned toward me, expectant, and yet my chest felt crushed from within. Her ex. She was here with me, celebrating her birthday, yet she chose this moment to elevate him. I forced a tight smile, jaw aching from the effort, but inside something cracked. The night dragged on. Friends attempted to cover the discomfort with nervous laughter, and hastily shifted topics. She laughed too, as though it were harmless, though her eyes gleamed with a mix of emotions I couldn't decipher. Guilt, mischief, or maybe both. When the evening finally drew to a close, and the last guests had left, I drove us home in silence. She hummed quietly beside me, absorbed in her phone, pretending nothing unusual had happened. At a red light, I finally asked, "Why did you say that?" "Say what?" she replied casually, eyes glued to the screen. "That thing about Daniel in front of everyone." She exhaled like I was being absurd. "It was just a joke, Mark. You're too sensitive." It didn't feel like a joke. It felt deliberate, sharp and pointed, a blade I couldn't escape. The days following her birthday were heavy with unspoken tension. She moved through the apartment as if nothing had shifted, while I noticed every glance, every laugh at a text, every private call she took in another room. Then one evening as she showered, her phone buzzed on the counter. The name flashing across the screen made my heart lurch. Daniel. I knew I shouldn't look, yet my hand moved before reason could stop it. Messages from the night before scrolled across the screen, casual, intimate, familiar. "Last night was bold. I didn't think you'd actually say it." Her responses hinted at comfort and secrecy. "Why not? It's the truth. He'll never know what you and I had." The words hit me like punches, each syllable hammering against my skull. I dropped the phone just as the shower turned off, heart racing, chest tight. When she emerged, wrapped in a towel, I was already on the couch, staring blankly at the wall. "Everything okay?" she asked, tilting her head. I nodded, throat dry. "Yeah, fine." But I wasn't fine. Weeks went by with that weight pressing down. Perhaps their relationship had truly ended, or perhaps it lingered in some hidden corner of her heart. Either way, she had preserved a part of him, and I hadn't noticed. One Saturday, while she was out shopping, I sat at the kitchen table with her phone in front of me. My hands trembled as I scrolled further into their conversations. Photos, messages, shared memories she had never shown me, and then a line that emptied me of everything. "Sometimes I feel like I settled. You were the one who really knew me." The apartment suddenly felt suffocating. When she returned, smiling with shopping bags in hand, she found me sitting there, rigid. "We need to talk," I said, voice low, unfamiliar. "About what?" she asked, cautious. "About Daniel. About what you've been saying to him. About what you said at your birthday." Her face paled. She slowly set the bags down. "You went through my phone? That's your concern? Not that you've been betraying me." "I haven't betrayed you," I said, my voice breaking with disbelief. "We just talk sometimes. That's all," she insisted, yet her eyes avoided mine. "Sometimes I feel like I settled," I whispered, voice tight. "Is that just talking?" Silence fell. She sank into the chair across from me, burying her face in her hands. For the first time, she looked small, exposed, trapped in the consequences of her words. "I don't know why I said that," she murmured. "Maybe part of me was scared. Maybe I was comparing. But I love you, Mark. I chose you. Her words should have offered comfort. Instead, they poured salt into a fresh wound. You chose me? I repeated bitterly. And yet you never let him go. You celebrated him. You mocked me without even knowing it. Tears brimmed in her eyes. I didn't mean to hurt you, she whispered. You did, I said, standing. My hands shook, but my decision was certain. I can't keep living with someone else's shadow in my life. That night, I packed a bag. She begged me to stay, promising to sever all ties with Daniel, swearing her love. But the damage had already taken root. I walked out the door, suitcase in tow, knowing betrayal isn't always about physical infidelity. It can be subtle, quiet, lodged in comparisons, in hidden messages, in the space someone else's memory occupies in your life. I paused, looking back. She was curled in on herself, sobbing, a figure both familiar and strange. I would have given you everything, I said softly. But you made me feel like I was never enough. The apartment I moved into was modest, empty, yet undeniably mine. That first night, in the darkness, the silence pressed against me. The ache in my chest was sharp, unbearable at times, but honest. Betrayal had broken me. But within that fracture, I glimpsed freedom. I had lost her, yes, but I had also shed the weight of competing with someone who no longer belonged in my life. Perhaps this, finally, was the first step toward reclaiming myself.